This is a special presentation by Hero Hair, the real wig experience. Wig making with Hero Hair, a brand new behind-the-scenes YouTube series featuring our studio's work in motion pictures, television, and cosplay. As always, all statements are the opinion of the artist on camera, and our critique is never with the artistry, but with the state of the art of the industry itself. Okay, hey, it's Travis from Hero Hair, and I am not in the studio. I am in chilly, bone-clenching Duluth, Minnesota with my partner Erin, my better half, because we haven't seen her family in 2 years, and I'm in the hallway. We moved some of our studio here for several weeks because we're working on movie jobs and we can't stop, so we can work anywhere. So we've got an office up here, we've got an office down there, and I have a few hours, and I've been thinking about, if you're new to the page, and if you like wigs, you might find this interesting. If you don't really care about wigs, you'll probably find this kind of boring. But for those of you who follow us, and it's almost time to say thank you for 10,000 followers, by the way. Who'd have thought that would have happened 7 years ago? Not me. Thanks for supporting us. It means a lot, we see it all. Anyway, so for those of you who follow us, this is gonna be a bit of an in-depth, I don't know, a few minutes with me about some of what we do that is different from other wig houses, other wig studios, other wig makers, because we try to pioneer new things. We try to push forward the envelope and elevate wigs and cosplay and feature film and television identically, because they sometimes suffer the same issues that make it onto the screen or cause a problem with the cosplay for the artist that's spent 2,000 hours beating a dress with Swarovski crystals. You know what I mean? That's why we do this. Same thing for film and television. A wig gets onto the screen and it's got a wonky hairline. We always say we never critique the artistry. We critique the state of the art of the industry. So we're trying to push the industry and the art forward. And I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes stuff that I've been wanting to get into. You guys, for those of you who follow us, for those of you who don't, I'm going to stop that dialogue right now. I'm going to pretend that you're just here and you're interested about wigs, hearing about them and seeing some stuff. And some stuff that we do a little different. So I don't usually have the opportunity to do this. I'm the co-founder and creative director. I run a lot of hats in the studio. One of the things I do is I plot out all the wigs for the physical team that builds them. And my partner, who is the studio director and founder, and I'm co-founder, and I'm the creative director, and there is a subtle difference because she's the wig master of 20 years, and she's done Broadway, feature film, television. We've worked on stuff like Tick, Tick, Boom, Hawkeye. It's all over the website. We've got a few really pretty neat credits. Started in cosplay though, so here we still are, 2 divisions to the studio. Okay, enough of the perfunctory. So what do we have here? We have a head block for a client. This is a cosplay client, but no matter what I show you here, it's the same thing that I do and that we do for film and TV. Absolutely identical stuff. So this is, I'm showing in profile for a reason, this is a typical tracing from a client who receives our tutorial, and they create this bubble shell. And this is what all wigs have been built on for 70 years. It hasn't changed, really. Cellophane and tape. And there's a hair prep that the client did, if they have long hair, if they have short hair. Anyway, anything to get this bald geography, right? This topography. Cranial. So we can get the shape of the head. So that's what's here. And then we put it on this block, and you can see this padding right here. And this is what's called a pad head. So this was their tracing they did, and sometimes we get more intricate tracings from clients, but this is pretty generally the status quo. It's actually quite clean. We've got a little bit of the ear, we've got a little bit of the nape, we've got a little bit of here. I have the border I need, and we have the border we need to work with. Well, how are wigs built? They're built by building a foundation on top of this, looking at the border the client or the wig maker themselves have traced, and then lading hair, tying strands, individual strands of hair, one by one, into the dene, which is the hexagon, the honeycomb in the foundation, and pulling that knot, pulling that hair down one at a time, one at a time. So tens and tens of thousands, right? Depending on the wig. Well, that's fine, but let me illustrate this because it's a little different when you do. And it's okay because I can wipe all this off with alcohol. So this is the B side. There's stuff on the A side I'm going to show you in a second. So let's pretend we've got foundation and the ventilator is going to, that'll represent the knot. We pull the knot. And generally, wigs are constructed in two directions. So direction of hair. So if you see how my hair sticks out this way, or if you have a cowlick that always wants to go this way, that's the hair direction, right? And generally speaking, while on a wig, there will often be an indication for what's called the crown swirl, right? Think of it like a fingerprint on your head. This is how your hair grows from a central point in a spiral across the entirety of the head. And some people have 2 cowlicks, some people have 4. I mean, it's crazy. Michael J. Fox has like 5. I know because I've replicated it. So anyway, and then they'll direct the hair generally kind of down from that central point, a little curve, a little turn maybe. Or a wig is done, if it doesn't need to show that detail, you'll tie the hair and you'll generally pull it front to back, right? So if I was to illustrate that, here's the hair tie, and you pull the root to get hair direction, right? So here's 1, right? Now that's a really across the axis pull. That's not generally how it's done, but I wanted to illustrate it. Let's actually do it how it's built. So they'll tie the hair in a knot, they'll pull it out. So it's like pulling it out and down, right? And it'll kind of cascade in a natural direction down with gravity, natural being gravitational pull. And let's pretend these are all now knots along the dene. You know, you could fit 1,000 hairs on that. And each one, right? Okay, that's generally how wigs are done, or they're done straight back, and then they fall into cadence, into gravity, right? So that's hair direction. And it's generally how wigs are built. We do things a little bit differently. This is what we do. And by the way, this diagram that I just did generally isn't done along a pad out, along a foundation. I'm doing this just to demonstrate. Generally speaking, wig artists will not draw paths to follow. So, and not to this extent. So this is what we do. And this is what we pioneered. It's a twofold process. It's the hero hairline, which is replicated from an actor or replicated from a character that a cosplayer is going to wear. I will go in, I will study that subject's hairline, and I will sit here and I will draw it down to the follicle in most cases, or at least like the 3 follicle count, and mimic those shapes. Negative space areas where there's like notching of skin, you know, through the gradation. The gradation, like this is all gradation that we plan. And it's a little more dense here. There's a little more hair here, but it actually creates the effect, the illusion of gradation into the scalp. As I get back here into the, you know, more of the general coverage, I get less and less detail because it doesn't need it. But when you get up here where the action is happening with the camera, and the money is, it's got to be down to the baby hair, because we will actually also ventilate those baby hairs. So everything that you see right here is deliberate, and it shows up in the wig. So why do we do this? Why is there this kind of detail and direction? And it goes crazier than this. It actually also goes simpler. So it could be something as crazy as this, where you're not even seeing the hairline, but if I show you, you can see this little orange border, right? That's the client's tracing, orange ear, right? I generally do the really detailed ears, but this one I didn't need to. And this is an anime character. He's on our Instagram right now. You'll see him. But I had to plot all these layers, right? And all this kind of almost cartoony detail, because I needed to know how this wig was going to lay with multiple layers and work with the team and all that. But the hairline is still in there, a basic hairline, even though you'll never see it. And this stuff can get even weirder. Brent Spiner, TNG, season 6, right? And his is a very dense android hairline, but it had to be exact, right? But all this direction, right? This is why our wigs are recognizable. So why all of this? Well, like I demonstrated over here on the other side, the hair is going to follow that trajectory, right? So what if I wanted to bring a little bit more life into it rather than just hanging down? What if I wanted to work and look and move and have shape like real hair does, and growth patterns, hair directional growth pattern plotting? And that's what all this business is right here, so that we go along each of these trajectories, these minute trajectories, just like this, where the hair is going to be tied and follow and follow and follow, right? All along these, so that by the time the hair is in, we get to see a bit of the styling set, the growth, silhouette, curve, life, you know what I mean? Rather than just kind of hanging down and fighting it in the style. And a good stylist is everything on a wig. But we like to really bolster the strength of the styling set if we know what it's going to be. So if we're doing a 40s do and it's on a certain actor, I will actually ventilate a little bit, not a lot, because you don't want to take too much action away from the hair department, but enough to keep those volumes and just be that much more effortless. You know what I mean? It gets more intense though with cosplay when you're doing a character like, Hugh Jackman, Claus, right? Where everything has to defy gravity. So in an instance like that, he'll get even more of the style state, hair ventilated up and over and over, and I'll draw those fins, Here's your fins, but I'll do it in all that really groovy detail. And then we'll tie the hair going up, 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 down, 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 into the back. It's this whole involved process. And trust me when I tell you, as I put this down, I really didn't know if it was going to work, but it actually does. Even on a wig that's being ventilated at the halfway point, because all the hair is moving in this direction, these recognizable shapes, you will see these contours and the hair deftly moving, not subtly, but there. And you'll see these shapes and you're like, wow, it actually works. And it's always something that I really get a kick out of. So that's something that we do that's different. And I thought some of you guys might find it interesting. And, this kind of stuff is always on the website. If you watch anything, watch our 7-minute demo. It's called The Hero Hair Difference. It's on the homepage of both the Cosplay Division website and the Hero Hair Difference page of the Film and TV site. And on our YouTube channel, you'll find it there too. But go to the website, it's over there. It's like 7 minutes long. It shows you our whole process, including this in much more dynamic fashion. And you might enjoy it. It's got some flair. All right, that's it. I made my video. Peace out.
Can't even press the button, I'm so tired. And so, another amazing adventure at the hallowed halls of production.
Oh, that's my favorite kind of tea.
There he goes. If you want to catch a Bigfoot, simply offer him tea. He'll come running or slowly lumbering, but looking beautiful nonetheless. Clearly, a job well done.
It's made with unicorn hair.
Down to the dent.